Right. Hopefully we are hopefully we are up and running here. I'm gonna test our stuff, make sure everything's working okay. Oh, it appears we have audio and video, my friends. There we go. So, my friends, yeah, welcome back to the channel here. Hope everybody is safe and well. Excuse me. So, my friends, what do I have for you today? Well, we are on Farming Simulator 22, obviously. We are on the base game map Elm Creek. My friends, as you may or may not know, MyGamesteam, so that's mods.mygamesteam.com. In Farming Simulator 19 or FS19, he put out the his version of the Krone BiG M 500. It was the most complex, technically advanced, highest quality version of the Krone BiG M 500. You've seen me stream quite recently, actually, the FS19 version of the Krone BiG M 500. I did discuss in that stream that, you know, MyGamesteam was going to port the mod from 19 to 22 and obviously update it and enhance it and that type of thing. So what I have for you, my friends, is a kind of a very early, I would even call it an alpha. It's not even a beta version. I would say it's an alpha version of the official MyGamesteam version of the Krone BiG M 500, which of course is a 13.2 meter self-propelled mower. It is a real-world piece of equipment produced by Krone, Germany. They stopped producing them because basically they were extremely expensive. They were €500,000. And there were obviously a lot of other cheaper solutions for grass mowing, you know. Weren't quite as big as this bad boy, you know. It is still the largest self-propelled mower in the world. So yeah, but yeah, you know, they stopped manufacturing this around 2013. They didn't sell very many because it was just very expensive, you know. And of course they do have the Krone BiG M 450, which is like a cheaper alternative, cheaper version of it. So, myself and MyGamesteam for the last number of days, we've been working on porting over the FS19 version to FS22. So I'm going to give you kind of an early kind of preview alpha test of the BiG M 500 here. It is not done. It's not finished. There are some issues. There are bugs. Even, you know, you're going to see some bugs, you know, on the mod because, you know, it's not done. Right, so I can give you an obvious example here. If I can get up, jump, you idiot, jump. So we have the US flag here, look. The pole is missing. So that's just a very, very easy fix. This kind of an object change isn't done right in the XML. But I wasn't able to locate where that issue was stemming from, so I've handed it off to MyGamesteam, who's a lot smarter than me with mods. Yeah, you know, so that's one of an issue. Another issue here, look. See the color of the PTO here, look. See the way it's all grey. So that should be black, right? That needs fixing. There's a PTO underneath here as well, and that's actually black as well. You can kind of see it there. Look, so there's a PTO underneath. It runs along to the back of the machine, right? So yeah, we have to fix that. So, you know, look, there are going to be some little issues, bugs, whatnot, you know. So in my previous stream, when I did the Farming Simulator 19 kind of version, and when I was showing it off, I mentioned about the skirting. Let me get the let me just take it through it again. Let me get the BiG M 450, which is the base game mod here, look. Right. So there's this 380,000, you know. So this is mowers, obviously. Okay. So one of the things about these particular mowers here is that Giants has, so there is a cloth skirting around the mower heads here, right? So this is kind of to protect, you know, obviously from, you know, getting your hands underneath there, and it obviously helps with the mowing and swathing process. But whatever. Look. So basically, these are kind of a mesh or a cloth effect. So they actually move and sway. Look. As you can see there, look, they're dynamic. So they have like a cloth mesh effect. So they move. You know, they have an animation to them. So that is something that I want to make sure to get into the FS22 version of the Krone BiG M 500. Currently, the skirting on these are rigid, right? They don't move. They have no sway animation or anything like that. So that will be something that I want implemented in the BiG M 500 here. I want that cloth skinning, that cloth mesh to be around the mower here. So as I said previously in my when I looked at the FS19 version of the mod here, this particular version of the 22 version has simple IC features, but it doesn't have as many as the 19 version due to script limitations. But I'll show you what it does have. Right. Some features we've had to leave out because the script for simple IC is different from the FS19 version. It's lacking a lot of features. So we have been able to retain most of the simple IC features, but not all of them. So for example, the opening side panels here. Now, I am not hearing any IC sounds on that. I'm going to have to check that. So there should be sounds associated with the opening and closing of this. So you have your engine inside. You have the opposite side as well. Right here. I can get close enough to get it. Let's see if this one works. So I'm not hearing any sounds. So I'm going to have to check that. Okay. So we should actually be hearing simple IC sounds for these kind of actions here. Now, how can I get in any closer? So you kind of have to get up a little bit close to this thing. How am I going to get up here? Right, why can't I get close enough to activate that? I wonder what's going on there. I can get up to that one. So there should be simple IC sounds associated with these animations here. Wait. There we go, I don't know. Right, so there's no simple IC sounds there. I don't know what happened there. I'm going to have to check the XML and make sure the file paths are correct. So that's one thing. So, you know, as I said, there are going to be bugs and issues. So when you enter and exit the cab, the ladder here folds and unfolds. I don't know if you can see that. There's an animation associated with this ladder. So in cab then we have some simple IC features as well. So we have the clock here. We have the wipers. We have the internal clock here. No, I can't reach that either with my mouse. What is going on there? We have the body seat. That goes up and down. We have the door. Yeah, I am not hearing any IC sounds associated with this. Let me check my settings. Just to see if the let's put that up to 100 just to check it. No, I don't hear anything. Right, that'll have to be checked. For some reason, I can't reach the armrest here. I don't know why that is. Got nothing on this. So we have a clock here. It does say 8:21. It's an LCD clock, as you can see there. Look, we're going to be making some adjustments to that. So some of the features have been carried over and some haven't. Like for example, previously, a lot of these dashboard elements were actually colored and that type of thing. So they had individual colors. Unfortunately, because of the script for FS22, that's no longer possible. So you can kind of see what actually kind of comes on and stuff like that. There's an emissive light coming from these, but they're all kind of white colored. So you can turn on the wipers. I'm just wondering why is so those are the sounds. Big M500. Let me check this file path on this. XML sounds Big M500. XML sounds Big M500. What else is there? IC animations. Sounds. Yeah. I don't know what happened. I don't understand why I'm getting no IC sounds in game. So, as I said, very, very alpha state. A lot of things to do. There's another issue here internally. You cannot see the texts on the screens here. So there's actually text on the screens, but it's virtually impossible to see them. So the text on the there should be like black text on these monitors, indicating the status of the motor or the vehicle. The lettering is extremely small, so that needs to be adjusted. Another thing here, so we have the key here, the ignition key. There's no animation currently on this, so we're going to have to put that back in. So I want to check the turn signal here. So previously the turn signal lever that actually was animated. That doesn't seem to be working either. So that will have to be. I'm going to need to take a picture of that for MyGamesteam and note that. So yeah, there should be an animation here on the on this thingy here. It's supposed to move. That doesn't appear to be present. I cannot get my mouse to lower enough to reach the armrest here for some reason. I could do that. I could do that. I could do that. That's the wipers. Okay, I can do that. I can't reach the light up here either for some reason. So I actually remember this issue about the mouse not being able to reach. See that there? Like I can't reach the X. So there was an issue here I remember in FS19 where we had some issues with that. So I'm gonna have to address that with MyGamesteam. Now I can reach it. It's so weird. Look at that. Look, I can reach it at certain angles, but in other angles I can't. It's something to do with the so it's something to do with the seat, right? So you have your character, right? Now there is seat suspension, right? So you actually move forwards and backwards with the seat. If I can kind of demonstrate that. If I brake, see the way the seat kind of moves in and out. So that action is you know, it's prevent. See that? Look, I can reach it now. See that? Look. So it's linked to the seat suspension and the character. So what? So I think MyGamesteam, he needs to do something with the internal character. So when the your mouse control, there needs to be some adjustments there, because see, I can reach it now, but if I go fast, I can't reach it. Look. So yeah, we're going to have to make some adjustments to that as well. That's the reverse camera. There's your outside view. So we are going to add a sound scheme for this folding and unfolding animation. It's not there at the moment. Right, so see all those animations? See the way this part goes up and down at the back? See that? Look. So all these individual actions, I want a sound scheme for. And it's going to be quite complex putting that in. So obviously we're going to have to do a lot of testing on this thing. So one of the things that we've tried to do with the 22 version of the mod is make it, you know, the performance of it. So in the FS19 version, the poly count of the mod was 587,000 polygons. Giants only officially allowed 250,000. So it was, the poly count was more than double what Giants would allow, right? Because it's a very, very highly detailed mod and very, very complex. You know, we put like 10 months of work into adding all these little individual elements and trying to you know, improve the mod and that type of thing, and bring it up to a, you know, a high quality standard. You know. So for example, we pretty much rebuilt the entire mod from scratch, more or less. You know. So all these sections in here, all these piston pieces, all these brass elements in here were all rebuilt. Look, all this section here. So they were all designed in Blender and rebuilt. All the stuff internally in here, look. So we did a massive amount of work in updating the mod and that type of thing. So one of the things that we tried to do with the 22 version is reduce the poly count, increase the performance. Because I can give you an example. So if I load in the mod, right? So watch this. Here's the Big M450. This is a base game mod. See how quickly that loads in, look. See that? It's like instantaneous. Now watch what happens with the Big M500. See that there is a little bit of a lag, right? Now this is the version that we've been working on. So before we did any work, it was even slower than that. So we have reduced the poly count from 587,000 to 420,000, right? And how we did that was by dynamically loading in various elements of the mod. So let me give you an example of something that is dynamically loaded in. So you have these are i3D elements, right? You have the jerry can here, the def canister, and you have the batteries, right? So let's say in the 19 version, these were part of the mod. You know what I mean? They were baked into it. So what we've done is we have now dynamically loaded these in. So they're separate i3D elements in the i3D folder. And what you do then is you dynamically load them in, and in that way then the overall poly count of the entire mod has been reduced. So for example, the jerry can is being loaded in, the batteries are loading in. There are some we have. So for example, see the fire extinguisher? In the 19 version we had a custom fire extinguisher, its own kind of 3D model element and its own decals and pictures and whatnot. So basically we've reverted to using a base game asset. So this is actually a base game fire extinguisher here, right? Internally we have you have parts in here, you have these elements in here, like see this can so all these elements inside here are all now dynamically loading in. Right. The beacon bar is dynamically loaded in. The pole for this, the flag pole, is dynamically loaded in, but obviously it's not working, as you can see there. It's not functioning correctly. So we're trying to make the mod more kind of performance friendly, and make it more efficient. Another way that we did that was, so see these reflectors, you have the orange reflectors. You have orange reflectors here. Orange reflectors at the side. All these parts here, look, see all these pieces? So they're all now being dynamically loaded into the mod to try and increase performance and reduce poly count. Right. So that's kind of where we're at. The vast majority of the mod has been converted successfully, because the 19 version was a kind of a self-contained kind of unit, you know what I mean? So yeah, there are some little issues that need fixing. As I said, the PTO here it's not supposed to be this color, it's supposed to be black, but we shall get that fixed. So once again, this action of folding and unfolding, we're going to have our own custom sound scheme for that. I'm going to give you an example of what I mean by a custom sound scheme. Let me get something, a tractor here, right? Let me show you some base game mowers, right? So you have these ones here, right? No. Right, so this front mower has its own kind of sound scheme, so you can listen to this once it unfolds. So you hear that sound scheme? So that's what I'm talking about. That's kind of what I have in mind for the big M500. We're going to have our own kind of custom sound scheme for the folding and unfolding action of the mowers. So this one has its own sound scheme as well. You can listen to this one. So you hear that? So that has its own sound scheme. So in the big M500, it only sounds like this. So that's kind of an example of what the default sound scheme on the big M450 sounds like. I think we can do a lot more with that. I think we can create our own custom sound scheme for the big M500, and that's what I'm going to shoot for anyways. That's, oh, look at that! Look at that! They have a warning. They have an orange reflector when this thing is folded. That is interesting. I might take a look at that actually and see how Giants did that. I might steal the idea from them, and yeah, I might take a look at that. That could be a good idea actually. Let me take a picture of that. Let me get a picture of that. There we go. So you can see how the big M4 or the big M450 is. Does this have a hitch on the back? It does. Interesting. And it has an electrical connection point as well. Interesting. I don't know why it has one, but whatever. Can I get up in this thing? Let's see what this looks like up here. Son of a bitch. Let's turn down the volume master on the vehicle volume here. Jump, you idiot, jump. So yeah, look, so I want to show you this, right? So this is the Big M450, right? So there is a drum inside there, as you can see, look. Okay, now in the real world, that drum is animated, it actually spins. In the Big M450, or our version of the mod, that actually works. So the drum does actually spin in our version. It has a reverse light. This is an option. So you have reverse lights there. In our version of the mod, we have a we added this rear option. Now it's completely unrealistic. You know, it's not like this in the real world, obviously. But basically, we've added a rear PTO on the back of this thing with connection hoses and that type of thing. So the reason we put that in there is for you can attach a tether or a windrower to the back of this. So basically, you can do two jobs in once. You know, you can mow the grass and then you can tether windrow at the one time. I might actually demonstrate that for people. You know, where is our windrowers? So this is the largest. So we need something that is going to be of kind of, I guess, an equal size. So that's 14.7. That's 9. Let's just get this. Okay, let's get the tether. That's perfect size. Oh, is that 17 meters? Okay. So let me just quickly drive this down to the Big M500 here, and I'll give you an example of putting a tether or a windrower on the back of the on the mower there. The log is clean so far in terms of the Big M500. We've added exhaust extension. So those two errors there are from the exhaust extension mod. They are not from the Big M500. I've discussed it many times on the stream before, so just be aware of that. But the actual Big M500 has a clean log so far. It's still a long way to go on this thing. It's very, very far from actually done. So what you would do is you would obviously reverse. Ah, I see. This is a so this thing is a 3-point attachment. That will not work. I forgot to I'm going to have to mention that in the credits again for people. You need something with a pin hitch connection. Otherwise it won't work. Let's go back to the shop and get something with a pin hitch then. So yeah, a 3-point connection will not work with the Big M500. It has to be a pin hitch. So now we need a windrower with a pin hitch. That won't work with that. It won't work with that. It won't work with that. No. That's a 3-point. So there are no base game mods with a pin hitch. Well, the tether does work because I can show you that it should work. Let's see. Is it? Yeah, look, see, that's a pin hitch, look. Right, so that'll work. So you're going to need if you want to use a windrower, you're going to need a mod with a pin hitch. They do exist. I believe they're on the mod hub, but they're just not in the base game assets. As far as I know as well, in terms of tethers, I believe this is the only one with a pin hitch as well. Yeah, they're all 3 points. So yeah, this is the only base game tether with a pin hitch. So yeah, I'm gonna have to put that in the notes to remind people. As people will probably have forgotten from the from using the 19 version. So we're not going for hashtag realism here, my friends. We're just kind of messing around and just doing a bit of testing. So don't worry about the bad driving. I mean, if you see my streams, you shouldn't really be concerned with my driving. You know it's not the best. So there we go, look. So it hooks up. Okay, so you attach. You would lower the tether. So let me just show you, demonstrate what it looks like at the back here. So yeah, that PTO is not attaching. The connection hoses are. Okay. Now I do know the FS19 version did, but this is a different mod in 22. So just be aware of that. But yeah, it looks like it will function. But just be aware that the PTO will not hook up. So we have a wide spread. So this is a practical demonstration of why you would have a rear PTO on the back of the BiG M500. So you can do two actions at once. You can windrow and TED. I can put that on a worker. So obviously with the BiG M500 you have various swath options, left and right swath. You have a wide spread or a swath action. So that gives you an example of why we decided to put a PTO on the back here. Okay, so you have various swath options on this. We have wide spreading, spot dropping, left swath and right swath. So we'll demonstrate that because we have to test. We have our own custom mower sound. So the sound you are hearing is from a real world Krone BiG M500. So basically, I found a YouTube video of a Krone BiG M500, you know, mowing grass in the real world. I made a sound clip and I put it into the mod. So that's the right swath. Now we're going to go with the wide spreading. Okay. We'll go for the swath. So most people are going to use the mower in this mode with the swath dropping because, you know, it just makes it a lot easier to collect the grass, obviously. So we're looking at a working width of 13.2 meters. And basically, we're just kind of testing, just to feel what it's like, you know, how's the driving physics, that type of thing. So the working speed of this particular motor here is 12 mph or 20 kph. That's based on the real world specifications. Obviously the Big M450 is faster at 15 mph, but it has a yeah, it's only like 10 meters, so this is 13.2 versus 10. You have your beacon bar on top there. You have your light at the back. This is what it looks like internally. As I said, the we're going to have to make some fixes to the screens here because the information, you know, the text under the screens are just way too small. You can't even see it really. But we will get all of that fixed up. Again, simple IC features. We have the armrest. We have the body seat. We have the door that opens. We have a clock here as well. So there's basically this is kind of an LCD clock at the moment. It shows in-game real time, so it's 8:47 in-game. I'm going to be changing that to a white LED. It's just there kind of temporarily. The wipers. So as I said, I'm going to have to try and figure out why the simple IC sounds are not working. You can turn on the light here as well. Okay. There should be sounds associated with all these actions, but for some reason or whatever, they're not working at the moment. So you can see internally everything is animated and working. You can see the blades. You can see this piece at the back here as well. So that thing is spinning. Okay. Yeah, the front motors are also animated and spinning as well. Alright. See the parts spinning there, look. So everything appears to be going okay. Everything looks the way I want it to look. So we have this container compartment here. We have a def canister for AdBlue, and we have the batteries. This is the bin plate. I can zoom in. So you can actually see it there. We have all the specs of the motor here, look. The Big M500, and it actually has all the actual specs of the real world thingy. All the various warning cables. So close the door there. Again, you have this panel here for the engine interior. So there's an engine inside there, fully modelled. Alrighty, look. So you can see that it's actually animated as well. So the engine is actually, physically moving. So there's an animation to it. Now I don't know if you're going to be able to see this, but internally there is a drum, so, a drum that spins. So you may be able to see that there. Obviously the flag is animated, but the pole is missing because I screwed something up basically. So yeah, the flag is animated. So if you use the 19 version, you'll be very familiar with the 22 version basically. We're trying to get in as many of the FS19 features and functionality into the 22 version as we possibly can. So we have a So it got a very good lighting system as well in this thing. It's quite illuminated at night time. So there's your beacons. Okay, you have your beacon at the back. You have your beacon bar there. You have your light system, obviously. So your front lights. You have your second stage lights, which is the back here and then at the sides. Okay. And then you have your third stage, which adds basically just more lights at the front here. So you have one. Sorry, let me do that again. 1, 2, and then 3. Okay. So you've got a very, very good amount of light. Look, you can see all that there. Everything should work in this. So you have your blinkies, your left and your right. Let's check the front of it as well. There's your brake lights, whatever you call them, and they work. So we're just testing to make sure everything works. We have the lights on the license plate, so we have an FS22 license plate installed. Reverse lights, that's an option in the shop. That doesn't come by default or anything. We have illumination on the ladder here, as you can see. Look, so there's little lights going all the way up. See that? It's pretty cool, isn't it? So that is illuminated at night time, obviously. It's what it looks like at night time in cab. You have your hazard lights. You have your light stages 1, 2, 3. You have your internal clock, which says 2:02 in the morning. You have your screens, obviously. You have the illumination on the dashboard here, whatever. There should be an internal light, obviously. Turn that on. So that's your internal light. It's quite bright, I think, don't you think? I might turn down the intensity of that light a little bit. It's a little bit too bright, I think. I'm going to take a screenshot of that from MyGamesteam. We have a so there is an emissive light on the radio as well. So if I turn this on, you can see there. Look, it actually comes on. I think I'm going to change the color of this. So this is kind of a yellow color. I think I'm going to change that to blue. I think it'd be better if we had a blue color. Going to look at some of the lights. I'm going to take a screenshot of that. I changed some of the colors here of these dash lights here, which is kind of a yellow color. I want to check and make sure that they were like that on the 19 version. I don't believe they were. I think they were a different color. That's your reverse camera. That's a fixed view. So in the real world, on the back of the Big M500, there is a camera at the back. And it's just under the God damn it. Turn the lights off as well. Shite. So yeah, there it is. Look, so it's just here. Look, so there's an actual camera here, in the real world Big M500. So that's what the reverse camera view is for. Is for that, and we've positioned it to match where the actual camera is at the back. So let's just take a little tour of the shop, the Krone BiG M500. Base price is 460,000. You have a so the base kind of horsepower is 520. 900 liters of diesel, 900 liters of diesel, 70 liters of DEF, 24 mph, 13.9 ton, 12 mph working speed, 13.2 meter working width. So again, the shop options here are alpha state. They're not kind of finalized or anything. It's just kind of what it looks like in the shop here. We have the Big M500 standard at 520 horsepower. We have the Alpine version, which goes to 620 horsepower and it goes 30 mph. So there is a speed difference, 24 mph and 30 mph. It's obviously more powerful in the Alpine version. In FS19, we designed it for the Erlengratt, the Alpine map. Wheel options. So we've updated the wheel options for 22, obviously. We have Trelleborg, Nokian, Michelin, Mitas. So these are new that we added. Continental, BKT, and Redstein. And some of these have wide tire options as well. So Trelleborg has wide tires. Michelin has a wide tire option. Mitas is a wide tire option. Beacon position, we have the EU style. And then we have the US style. So basically it swaps out the, so you get the 3 beacon lights. You get one at the back, you get 2 at the front for the US style, and then the EU style, and then the US style has a beacon bar instead of beacon lights, if that makes sense. So that's kind of an object change there. The speed sign design, you can put it on the rear, you can put it on the sides, or there you can put it on all. So it's on both sides plus the back. Okay, reverse light. This is a shop option. That's Gizuzi Marino. I apologize, sir, if I have butchered your name. Welcome to the channel. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate that. Gizuzi Marino. How are you, sir? How are things? So yeah, we are alpha testing the Krone BiG M500. This is the official MyGamesteam version for Farming Simulator 22. We have been working on porting the 19 version to 22. So it's very, very in an alpha state. So we have the reverse light option. We have none or yes. Okay, because in the real world, the Krone BiG M500 doesn't have reverse lights. So we thought it might be a good idea to put it in as a shop option. The logos then. So the FS19 version had a lot more, we call it contractor logos. We stripped all that out because we want to reduce the file size. So we only have like 2 options now. So you have the green Krone logo and you have a silver version. So it just adds a green, Krone logo on the side. Configuration, we have US and EU configurations here. So these are the warning signs. So you had them on the front and the back here. So when you had the US, the warning signs disappear. On the front, on the rear, then you get an object change for the warning signs there. So that's the US configuration there, look, and that's the EU. Flags. We had many flags in the 19 version. We've stripped that back to just 2 to save file size. We have a US flag and an EU flag, and that's it. Just to to reduce the file size. GPS system. That's your GPS module there. Attachers. So we have the attachers still. So this is your PTO extension. This is unrealistic, obviously. So we have that as a shop option for people. Okay. Capacity. So we have by default the tank holds 900 liters of diesel, and you can put an extension on it to 1,000 liters basically. So it just gives you a bit of a boost. So we have color options here. Look. See, these are the default Krone colors, right? As you would expect, but we do have color options. So for example, you can change the color there. Now, one of the color options are missing, is not working. Just be aware of that. So we have design color. So that's kind of the secondary color there. Look, these are all kind of metallic colors. Look. The first decal color. Sorry, no, we have the hub color. You can change the color of the hubs. Let me just give you something that you'll notice. No, there you go. So there's the hub color. The rim color should be self-explanatory. All right, so you can change the colors of that. Then we have the first decal color. So there, you can change the color of the decals. So you can see there, change it to white, orange, red. And then there should be a section. So there are, see the Krone, see these logos on the front here. Basically, one of the color options isn't working basically, and we have to fix that. So it should be an easy fix, you know. So yeah, that's kind of the options that we have in at the moment. You know, a lot of the options that have carried forward from the FS19 version, but we did deliberately take out some as well, because we kind of want to have new ideas for 22. You know, so a lot of these options were from you know the FS19 build of the mod. You know, for the 22 version, we want to do things differently. You know, we want to make it fresh and new and better. You know, so we stripped it back. You know, we stripped it back to the just the basics, and then we can add from that then going forward. You know, so that's kind of the idea of that there. So yeah, she's very good to drive as well. Great driving physics on this thing. Again, if you use the 19 version, you're going to be very, very familiar with this more. So this is field 71, a nice big grass field. Hire a worker. Let's see what the worker does. Missed a lot of grass there for some reason. I wonder why he missed so much grass there. So once again, Krone BiG M 500. This is the based on a real world piece of equipment, obviously. It is the largest self-propelled mower in the world. Self-propelled, I stress. There are other mower setups, specifically from SIP or SIP. They have a 15-meter mower setup, but it's a conventional mower setup. You know, it's not a self-propelled. You know, they attach to a tractor. So the SIP system has a mower on the front, a single mower on the front, and then 4 mowers at the back, and that's how they're able to get 15 meters. It's in prototype. It has been for a number of years. I don't think they're actually on sale. I think they're still in a prototype phase. If you have the real mower mod or the real mower mod, you can get rid of all of the bushes and grass and that type of thing. So this was very much a passion project for me in Farming Simulator 19. We spent 10 months of working on this mod in FS19 in terms of the Blender, Giants Editor, XML work, you know, just constantly trying to improve the mod as best we could, you know. So yeah, it's been a long time coming getting this mod converted to 22. We've been talking about it for quite a while, but just, you know, MyGamesteam has been so busy with other mods, just never had time to do it, you know. Yeah, we're gonna get crack on with it now and get it properly converted to 22. So the moors have ground adaptation, which means they actually move with the contour of the ground. That's a good demonstration of that there. See how the moors are actually kind of adjusting to the you know, the ground. So yeah, it's very maneuverable, this mod, this moor, you know. It's got a very tight turning radius, look. And it's got the horsepower for, you know, I mean, we designed the moor configuration for the Alpine, you know, Erlengrath, the Alpine farming map. As you know, the hills on that map are very steep, so it's got the juice, you know, it's got the horses behind it, and the torque scale to be able to handle, you know, steep terrain and that type of thing. So we'll get it a little bit dirty, so we can take a look at the dirt and wear texturing. I'm considering updating the specular, or the specular map to something different for the FS22 version. I have an idea of what to use, and I just have to kind of okay with MyGamesteam to see what he thinks about it. Let's see what happens when it gets on a worker. So they always miss out on bits at the end there. It's just an AI thing. Can't do anything about that, I'm afraid. Lots of dynamic suspension. See the engine inside, obviously. You have the side panel open. Internally, you can see the drums spinning inside, as I said. It's based on the real world BiG M500. Let's see what the AI worker does here. Good turning radius, as you can see. mph working speed, just 20 kph. That is based on the real world. So all the specifications of this piece of equipment are based on the real world BiG M500. Here is the base game BiG M450. It's a Giants mod, obviously. So this is what is that? She is 24 mph, 15.6 tons. She is 15.6, and this is 13.9. We may have to increase the weight of the BiG M500 here. I must look at the weight of this thing. 13.2 meter, 12 mph, and this is 15 mph for 10 meters. So she's a little bit slower mowing, but she has a wider width. And obviously this is significantly more expensive at 460,000. That's what she looks like in the folded position. Quite different to, compared to the how the BiG M450 folds. It's quite a different way to do the more. So yeah, I think I might actually I might change the specular, the dirt, the dirt that's on this thing. I think I'm going to change it to something else for 22. Rohit Solanki, apologize if I have butchered your name. How are you? How are things? Thank you for tuning in. I appreciate that. Hope you're doing well. So yeah, I think the dirt map on this thing needs changing. It's just a little bit too old now at this point. Let's swap it up for something else, something a bit more modern, I think. So I'm going to do that. So you can see the kind of the dirt in this thing, kicking up the grass and that type of thing. It's got the dirt and stuff inside as well. Let's take a look inside here. have to figure out why I can't hear any simple IC sounds. Don't understand why I don't, but we shall get it fixed up. And that, my friends, I think is kind of it. This is kind of a, you know, a quick kind of, you know, alpha test of the Krone BiG M 500 here. Just wanted to, you know, give it a live test, as it were, see what it looked like. Still a lot of work to do on this thing, but it is certainly making progress. As you can see, she's got very, very good turning radius, and she's fast. 30 mph or 50 kph. Yeah, I think it's going to be a very, very nice mod once it's out and ready. No idea when that's going to be, you know. These things take time, you know. If you want to do a mod properly and you wanted to convert it from 19 to 22, you know, it takes time to do it correctly, properly, you know. And that is certainly our intention to make it a very, very high quality mod. And there you go, my friends. That is the Krone BiG M 500. Hopefully you guys will be able to download this mod in a few weeks' time. Hopefully, we'll see how things go. But my friends, I think that is probably a good spot to end the stream there. And yeah, so listen, thank you all very much for tuning in. I appreciate it. And God willing, we shall see you again in the next one. For right now, take care. Thank you. Bye-bye.